Another way that you can create and share a Google Meet with your students is by creating a nicknamed Google Meet. So there are two ways that you can go about this. There is the meet.google.com, where you can actually click to start a meeting. So you will give your meeting a nickname. So maybe I'm going to give my meeting the nickname Mazur Google Meet PD, okay? And I click continue. So when I do that, what I'm doing is I'm actually setting up a Google Meet right now, right in this moment. And as what you'll see is that nickname that I gave it, Mazur Google Meet PD, is actually going to show up right here. So this is my nickname, where if I go into a different Google Meet, we know that when we click on that, the nickname that we have is going to be a series of letters and numbers, okay? So when I am providing a nickname, it actually makes it a lot easier for students to be able to join in and to be able to identify what meet they actually are joining in to. But with that being said, you want to make sure that your meet is easily distinguished from someone else. So for this meet right now, I gave it the nickname of meet. But typically, if you are entering into a meet that's been established, you're going to have a series of letters, numbers. So that's why it's important that when we're giving it a nickname, it's a nickname that is easily identifiable. I've been asked the question of, can we use the same nickname for every meet, and can we reuse that URL? And so the thought here is that you might want to actually change up your nickname every time so that you have a unique URL that you are actually sharing with your students, or you have a different nickname that they're using each and every time. Because again, it's this idea of security, right? So making sure that you're closing out that meet so that when you are gone, your students are not logging in and meeting when you're not present. And I'm not saying that that would happen all the time, but this is just one way that we can secure ourselves from having that happen when we weren't ready for that, okay? So that is one way. Again, if you go to meet.google.com, you type in your nickname, and then you are able to start your meet in that way. The other option that we have is to go to g.co/meet/ and then you give your unique nickname. So let's go ahead and try it this way. So we go g.co, and then I'll do Mazur Google Meet PD. And so this is our shortcut to then creating that Google Meet for our students, that nickname Google Meet. And so either way is going to work out just fine, but that is this way is significantly less, far less steps than with going to meet.google.com and entering and all that stuff. Okay, so this is a way that you can create a meet and share it with your students. And you can create and grab this shareable URL. You could tell them to go to meet.google.com. They're going to add in that nickname that you created in order to gain access. So these are ways that students can join in on your Google Meet that you have planned. Since we're here taking a look at this interface here, let's give ourselves a bit of a tour. So it's a really good etiquette when you are entering into a Google Meet to click on this microphone and go ahead and mute your microphone. And the reason for that is because when there are numerous people who are joining into a Google Meet at a time, if all of their microphones are on, you're going to hear a lot of background sound, and you might hear like an echo or feedback from the mic. So this is also a good rule, always a good rule of thumb. The other option is to turn off the camera. So maybe perhaps you're joining in on a virtual PD, you're not really looking for people to watch you the entire time. You can turn off your camera, and when you enter in, your image that you have for your picture or your profile for your account will then show in place of your camera. So just some good ideas of what you can do in order to practice good etiquette when you are joining in on a Google Meet.